Welcome aboard Qo'noS Va. I am Chancellor Gorkon, and if you know nothing about Star Trek, or if you have been a fan of Star Trek for a long time, this channel is for you. Please like, please subscribe, please turn on bell notifications, please share, please become a patron. Join us on Patreon, support us so we can keep bringing you Star Trek content. Subscribers get extra videos and patrons get the full unedited commentaries. Kapla! Welcome back aboard Qo'noS Va. I am Chancellor Gorkon, and I'm really sorry we haven't given you guys a video in a long time, but we've run into some technical issues. Gorkon here. Very well. Okay, that was engineering. They've got the phase inducers back online. So, today we are beginning our journey all the way through Star Trek: The Next Generation. Okay, here we go. Season 1, Episode 1. Let's do this. And of course we have the beautiful, compared certainly to the 60s, this show was in the 90s, so of course the visual effects, the special effects, they're all better. We're going through our familiar solar system, Earth, the moon, Saturn, and then you have the beautiful voice of Patrick Stewart giving the monologue. You have the beauty shot of the brand new Enterprise. To boldly go where no one has gone before, not where no man has gone before. And that's important because Star Trek has always been inclusive of gender and ethnicity. And here we have the brand new Star Trek Enterprise, which looks like the original Enterprise, but of course is different. It's updated. And that's the trick always with sequels, is that how do you make them the same and different? And there she is again, the brand new Enterprise, beautiful looking ship. Again, looking like the Enterprise, but different. Now let me say right off the bat, this is not a very good episode, and seasons 1 and 2 were not very good compared to the rest of the show, but they still have strengths, and there's a lot going on that I'll talk about in this very first episode. Of course, the premiere was a two-parter. And here we go, another beauty shot of the Enterprise. Beautiful ship, beautiful brand new ship. It's upgraded version.
Captain's log, stardate 41153.7. Our destination is planet Deneb 4. Beyond which
And look at that. The handsome Patrick Stewart. Again, not as handsome as me. No one's as handsome as me. Now, Patrick Stewart is very important because the original Captain Kirk of the original show, it was very racist. It was this young, all-American male who represents all of humanity. Very nationalistic, white. Now, Picard, he's a white male, but it's a big deal that he's different from Kirk, specifically that he's older. He's even bald. I just said he was handsome, but can you imagine in the studios saying, hey, we want the main character to be an old bald guy? You know, the marketing people would be like, this will be a total flop. Anyway,
Hardly simple, David. Negotiate a friendly agreement.
I'm getting so caught up in this show. It's so wonderful. This is my favorite show. It's hard to comment and while watching at the same time. Anyway, so not only is Picard older than Kirk and balder than Kirk, but he's French, and that's a big deal. Again, still very white-centered in North America and Europe throughout the history. People have not liked French people. We have always thought of French people as snobby, the losers of both world wars who needed to be rescued by England, America, and Russia.
Yes, Chew.
I'm sensing a powerful mind.
And here we go. The plot already begins. Not off to a slow start. Gotta grab the audience early. This is the first episode of hopefully what will be a long-running series, which in the end it turned into one.
Incredibly powerful force field. But if we collide with either, it could be very
You could argue it both ways. It was a big risk to do a sequel to such a beloved show, but at the same time, especially 30 years after that show had been canceled, but at the same time, it's also, you could also be cynical and say, oh, this is a sure thing. Everybody loves Star Trek, make a Star Trek sequel. Of course it'll make money.
Reverse power, full stop.
Controls a full stop, sir. Now reading full stop, sir.
And what's that?
Thou art notified that thy kind have infiltrated the galaxy too far already. Thou art directed to return to thine own solar system immediately. Directed? Would you mind identifying what you are? Call ourselves human. Well, thou mayst call me that.
And already here's a big difference. You have, wow, look how powerful he is.
Captain, that thou mayst better understand me.
Um,
Back whence thou camest.
If he were Kirk, he would have probably started shooting and punching. But Picard, he's a talker. He's a doer and a talker.
Data call medics.
He's frozen.
He would not have injured you. You'll recognize this? A stun setting? Knowing humans as thou dost, Captain. Wouldst thou be captured helpless by them? Now go back, or thou shalt most certainly die.
Even after being assaulted, his crew is assaulted, Picard is still trying to be the diplomat. He's still trying to talk. Maybe you could say that's a weakness. He should respond. But Picard is also very perceptive. He understands that he's outmatched. He's with this, he's facing this alien who is seemingly very powerful, all powerful.
Thy little
As he just says, do we dare oppose Q?
perhaps thou will better understand this. Actually, the issue at stake is
So there are all these themes already going on: religious, literary, man versus God, the Greeks, man versus the gods, plural. It's a very bold take, as Americans become more secular and embracing science more. It seems that there's this conflict between religion and science, or God and science, or humans and gods, and that's how bold and daring this first episode is. In a way, it could be an interpretation of, hey, we're humans, we don't need God anymore. We have an adversarial relationship with God, and we're okay with that. I'm not advocating that. I'm not advocating atheism or any kind of religion, but But the point is that I'm making is that there's a lot going on here in this very first, in just the very first 5 to 10 minutes, in the first 10 minutes or second 5 minutes of this episode. The whole episode. There's so much intelligent writing. It's not just a bunch of people flying around in space shooting each other.
Space humans, of course, found enemies to fight out there, too. And to broaden those struggles, you again found allies for still more murdering. The same old story all over again.
The same old story is the one we're meeting now. Self-righteous life forms who are eager not to learn, but to prosecute, to judge anything they don't understand or can't tolerate.
What an interesting idea. Prosecute and judge. Suppose it turns